Hi guys, it's Kelly here and I'm back with another video for Honeybee Stamps. Today's video is actually part of a video blog hop. I'm using some of the new products from the Spooktacular Release. So I am using the Beautiful Blooms stamps, stencils, and dies, as well as the layering vintage labels. We're doing a bold color, kind of clean and layered card here. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about the video hop. So along the video hop, Honeybee is generously giving away two $50 gift cards, and you have until September 15th to enter. So all of that will be linked below, so you can hop along. I am the last stop. There's a reason I'm the last stop, and we'll get there in just a second. So I'm working on Nina Solar White cardstock. I am stamping down the images that I'm going to be stenciling, and then we're going to get right into the stenciling. I used Distress ink for my stenciling. Couple of things to note with this stamp set. Okay, I'm a big fan, big fan. So it has these two little leafy branches that come with it. Those are the ones I stamped up there. And then it has two floral images. One of the floral images is completely built out. So it has flowers, it has leaves, it has berries. And then the other floral image, that's the one that you see here, has none of it. It just has the flowers. And so this gives like a really unique opportunity to kind of combine them a little bit differently. So here I chose to use the smaller ones, and then I used the two branches that came with it to kind of build my own bouquet. But you could stamp and color the flowers and then only stencil the background. You could stamp and then stencil the background. You could, and like pop them up over top of it. A lot of options for this one, and I really like its versatility. I will be using this one again, 100%. Really a big fan. But also florals. We know I'm a big fan. And then these vintage label dies. When I first saw them, I was like, oh, these are kind of like, like the spooky vintage labels, which I'm a fan of. But then I realized once I took out the main piece, that really it's more of like a classic shape. And I really liked that. And I wanted to use it to add some texture to my card without distracting from like these really bold colored flowers. And so I did white on white and honestly was really happy with the results. So you wouldn't have to do white on white. You could do any color like on itself and get a more subtle look, or you could combine them for something that's more contrasting. Lots of fun options. So anyway, here, what I'm doing is I'm using a combination of my ink foam blenders and then the tinier blending brushes, the bitty blending brushes. And the reason that I'm doing that is so that I could get some shading into my flowers just using the stencils. I'm going to go in with my Copics just a little bit, but not anything that's like huge and crazy. Each one is just two colors, and sometimes I didn't even use the second color. I just used the one just to get a little bit of separation. Something unique about the stencils is they're labeled. Isn't that fun? It's so easy to know what you're looking for. So one of them is labeled like petals. One of them is labeled leaves. So that way you know what, like if you're trying to color a center, you pull out the center stencil. If you're trying to color a petal, you pull out the petal. And so I really like that. Here, I did have to do a little bit of masking just because it was so close. And I wanted to make sure that I didn't get the pink over into the yellow. But mostly I didn't have to do any masking. I also am going to be die cutting these out, so I didn't have to worry about the background, like overlapping the coloring on the background. But yeah, really easy to use. So why am I the last stop on the hop? Because I can't keep my schedule straight. That's the reality of the situation. So I know I keep saying we're going to have to talk about design teams and then we never get around to it, but I'm gonna do it. It's on my list. But anywho, so I am on design teams, but then I also have guest design spots that I do. And then I also have companies that just sometimes are like, hey, I'd like to send you X. Would you be interested? Which is also really cool. And so I have a calendar, a Google Calendar, and everything goes into my Google Calendar. My schedule, Eric's schedule, anything Peanut has going on, anything Caitlin has going on, all of my work things, everything into the Google Calendar. That's how it works. So that I can pay attention to what I am doing and get my things done in a timely fashion. And so I had signed up. I was like, yeah, I could be part of the YouTube video hop. Yes, I can. I love a video hop. And I love this release. So winning. Here we have to go back to the card. Here this is the part where we're going to go in with the Copics. And again, I'm just looking for a little bit of separation between the petals on the flowers and then just adding a little bit of detail to the leaves, which is really just like one flick of color down the center. And pretty much that's all I did to that. So yeah. So I was like, yeah, I love a video hop. I'm down to do a video hop. And so I did it. And then as soon as I commit to something, whether it's via email, Instagram, sometimes I get requests on Instagram, or on Facebook, whatever it is, as soon as I commit to it, I put it in my Google Calendar. Also, I pull up the calendar before I commit to anything because sometimes people have releases on the same day, or they've got two things going on. It's on the same day. And I really try to avoid double booking myself if I can. So anywho, so I signed up for it. I put it into the calendar, and I knew in my brain, as I was going through and, what my game plan was for the week. I knew that this was on my list of things to do for Thursday. I knew that. I knew that going into it, and had no issues being able to get my video up. Except I thought today was Wednesday. Yeah. I think it was Labor Day. I think Labor Day's got me all messed up, all bajiggity with my calendar, because I thought today was Wednesday. And it's not, it's Thursday. And do you know how I discovered this? I will tell you how I discovered this. I went into the group that the design team meets in. Back to the card real quick. So here, these are originally the two oranges that I picked to color this particular flower, but I realized very quickly that it was basically the same color, and in order to add any shading, I was going to have to go just a smidge darker. That's no big deal. Like, sometimes we have to test out colors to see what's going to work, because as the colors blend, like this one is mustard seed and picked raspberry, it's not always going to be the same. Sometimes the intensity is going to be different. It's not always going to match. It's no big deal to just pick a different color and try again. So where were we? Where were we talking about? We were talking about the video, my calendar. Oh, how I discovered that I had made a grave error. I went into the discussion about the YouTube hop so that I made sure that I had my information correct. And I noticed that everybody had their links in there. All the video links were in. And I was like, wow, everybody's really on top of their stuff. Like, it's in there super early. And one designer in particular that I'm friends with, I know she runs late just like I do. And her links are always late. And even hers was in here. And I was like, oof, Kelly, girl, you got to step up your game. Like, this is not, like, even she's got you beat out. Like, you're crazy late. And so then I looked at the date on the group, and it said the 8th. And I knew yesterday was the 7th because it was my dad's birthday. And I was like, today is the 8th. Today is the 8th. So I'm late to the party, and now I'm the last stop on the hop. But that's okay. Save the best for last. I'm kidding. All of these designers are really amazing and got their timetables correct. So anywho, everybody makes mistakes. I'm not going to sweat it. It is what it is. I still got to make a pretty card and contribute to the hop, and I'm good with that. So now here I have everything die cut out, and added bonus, I don't have to color in any of these white outlines because my card background is white. winning. So here what I'm doing is I'm just kind of moving the stamp set around so that I can see what kind of sentiment I want to use. I ended up settling on the "Hello, my dear friend." I thought that that fit the best. And it was the most versatile, honestly. I like having a lot of versatile cards in my stash. So I could send this "Hello, my dear friend" and turn it into a thinking of you card, a sympathy card, a miss you card. There's a lot of options. And fortunately, Honeybee also has a lot of inside sentiments. Like, they sell them as inside sentiments. And so I could just pick out the one that I needed and put it inside the card when I'm ready to give it to somebody. So once I stamp that and cut it out with its companion die, we're going to start building. I always find it easier when I am going to build up, like when I'm going to pop up my images on foam, if it's already pre-built. So that's what I'm doing here. I placed glue on those two little leaf portions, glued it to the flowers, and then that way now that's one solid piece, and I'll be able to add my foam adhesive to that one solid piece. For the cover plate, the die here, is it a cover plate? I don't think it is. I think because they're all individual, I think they're just layering dies, I think is what they are. I just am going to adhere that down flat because that 2 layers of cardstock with the die is going to give me the texture I need. I don't need to pop it up, though that would look very cool. Instead, I chose to pop up my focal point, which is the flowers and the leaves. So yeah, if you're ever like, I don't have my life together, I am the Hot Mess Express, all of my stuff is just crazy and I never know what's happening, you're in good company because I am right there with you. Doing my best to stay afloat and get my things done in a timely fashion. And 95, I'm not even going to say 99 because that's too generous. 95% of the time, I'm on it. 5% of the time, I'm a mess. I'm a disaster. And it's cool. I'm not perfect. I am not Jesus. And so sometimes you just have to embrace that it's going to be, a misstep. And that's all right. Don't beat yourself up. So here I have that adhered down now with my foam tape. And then this part, I wanted it to be flush. So I need to add foam just to the portion that's hanging off, which is actually the friend portion of the sentiment. And then the rest of it, I put glue on so that it will adhere to the floral portion. And at this point, I'm pretty happy with it, but I felt like the bottom right was missing a little bit of something. Oh, here. I got some purple in my yellow is what happened there. And so I just went in with a lighter yellow and pushed the purple back. And now you won't even be able to tell. Honeybee frequently releases embellishments with their releases, and this one I really like. It's the Autumn Pearls, and it's just a really good fall colors, and I ended up going with I originally was going to go with the black, the one that you saw. I think that's like a basic set, but I really wanted to use the pearls, and they had like these little chocolatey brown ones, which I thought were very fitting. I did not have my pokey tool to pick them up and put them down, so I was using my tweezers. Clearly, as you can see, not very well, but we got it done. And Christmas miracle without getting any red nail polish on the white background. I thought for sure that would happen. I have some regrets at this stage in the card. Here, I went in with a white gel pen just to give him, like a little something something. I should have not given the purple flower a little something something. It was better without the zhuzhing. I went in and did some dots in the center of the yellow flower. I did some highlights on the edges of the orange flower. And I did dots just along some of the petals in the purple flower. Didn't love it. It was what it was. I could have gone back over with a purple marker and blended them in a little more. I didn't. I just left it the way it was because I think it's important to be transparent. And so I didn't love that part, but that's okay. Card's still pretty. I went in with some glitter. Something to note on that, make sure your white dots are dry. Mine were not completely dry, and so I did have a little bit of smearing I had to go back in. But then that's it. That's the whole card. So I will link the whole YouTube hop below in case you are just stopping by my particular channel, so that you don't miss out on any of your chances to win those gift cards. And I would encourage you to check out the new honeybee release. It really is fantastic. Thank you guys so much for your time, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye.